Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to the Audi rebuild series. Today I'm very much hoping to go on my first drive in the Audi R8. Still needs work, quite a bit of work, but the good news is all the parts minus one are actually ordered. The only thing I don't have ordered is the tub, which I should probably go do that right now since I kind of remembered. But everything else has been ordered. The wheel liners, the front stuff, all the airbags, everything is on its way. I have a brand new front wheel with a tire on. I didn't look at it. So hopefully there was no mistakes in ordering. There was no mistakes in delivery. And hopefully I could put this tire and wheel on. And then essentially we just have the passenger side, which is extremely bald, but at least at that point I could drive it. And my goal is to try to take this off. I'm gonna use a torch to take off this socket. If I can't do it, then I'm going to either cut it or maybe take it to the tire shop, see what they can do. But I do have a security key on the way. So again, in theory, everything should be here by the end of the week. But right now we're gonna start off. I'm gonna try to replace the front tire and wheel and honestly take it out, at least down the street, see how it feels, how it drives. I know it's not like road worthy, but I've had this car for over a month and I've only sat in it. I didn't drive it. I want to drive it. I want to experience it. I'm gonna do it. All right, here we have the new tire and wheel. I'm gonna slice it open. As you guys can see, I did not look at this thing, so I don't know. I mean, looks like a R8 wheel. Okay, I'm gonna use two hands, gently cut through so I don't damage anything. And then we're gonna take a look at this thing. So guys, we do have a wheel, but it's not machined silver. Let's see. Yeah, this one seems lighter than that one, but it is the same style. Oh boy, I guess if anything, then I'll have extra parts, or shoot, I don't even know, guys. I don't even know. Anyways, let's get this car raised up a little bit, get the wheel off, and honestly, I just want to take it out for my first drive. Okay guys, I'm gonna move the Jag out of the way. I'm going to tighten the front wheel. I'm going on our first drive. Actually, before I get too much ahead of myself, I would still like to take this off. So, have my torch. We're gonna try to blow this thing up, as in get it hot and expand. And then I'm gonna try to pull it off with one of these guys. Oh yeah. Okay, now we can go for a drive. Okay guys, wish us luck.
Hi.
Me and Noah are going for the first drive. Here we go. We are moving, and I see my right mirror is like way out.
You're good.
Gonna have to fix that mirror. It's almost like the kids bumped into it.
That's over there. Look up there.
Oh yeah, I do have a backup camera on my screen. I hear the brakes a little bit, but that's because they are kind of rusted. Okay guys, we are about to make our first forward drive in the R8. Here we go. I hear something smacking. So we're gonna turn around. I feel like there's something almost loose in the front. I don't know if you guys will hear it or not.
Yeah.
Oh man, and we got almost no brakes. Seems like they're totally fine backwards. Like I feel resistance.
I think it's because
nothing kind of going forward. Yeah, they are way too spongy going forward. I mean, it seems like the engine definitely wants to go. So I'm curious what that is with every rotation.
It's screwing off, yeah?
I don't know.
When like the brakes are not super good for.
Yeah, the brakes are way too spongy for my liking. I'm gonna jump out, see what's going on. So, like what could it be in here? And I do feel it in the front. Like some kind of front end noise. Let me open the hood. Okay. So, I mean, it can't be nothing in here. What could it be? And clearly, guys, I haven't had the car lifted on a jack or anything. I mean, aside from like tires, so I don't know. Let's try to do that, see if we find any issues. I'm gonna have my wife help me. She does look good in it though. I hear the brakes a little bit. I hear some kind of squeaking. Okay, stop. So far, I feel like I hear it on this side. Yeah, I think it is this side. The side that was damaged. Yep. Something is rubbing. Yeah, it's on this side. Wife says the front tire is pretty darn flat, so we're gonna put some air in it. Maybe that's it, but I don't know. It almost seems like it's not turning straight the way it should. So, but now I'm starting to think we might need a newer like assembly or something with suspension work over here. Using the opportunity, I did put air in all 3 tires because this one was good. I put air in that one last time. So now we try again, but honestly, something tells me that it's not the issue. So here's our problem, guys. Oh yeah. Either the pads or something is really destroying the rotor right here. So I can't drive this thing, unfortunately. We have an issue with the front suspension. So what I'm gonna do is take off this wheel again, and then I'm gonna take a look, see if I find anything that's bent. Well, we're gonna inspect it. I feel like I'm confusing myself. If the wheel is sitting caved in, that's not really an alignment issue. Alignment issue is left, right. This is what, camber issue? Don't know how to work on camber. I might have to look into that. But the problem that I'm seeing is, if you guys see, is just starting here. I kind of parked in a way where you can't see it, but you could see it around the edges right here. The brake pads are essentially grabbing, and as you can see, all of the shavings and shavings up top right here. So something is off where the brake pads are grinding on the rotor in a way that they shouldn't be. This rotor is expensive, brake pads are expensive, and as you guys can see, they are pretty new. I would say maybe 90% new. So I definitely don't really want to mess with this just yet. I want to do some research. And honestly, visual inspection, I don't see anything crazy. I don't see anything like off. But again, 2-3 millimeters is all it's gonna take. Clearly not gonna drive it. I didn't even drive it that far. I don't want to damage the rotor. I don't want to do any further damage. So one, I'm gonna go online, do some research, and two, I want to price out. I just don't know if it's like for the right corner, but I know there's wrecking yards that have this full assembly, which might be my option, but I don't know if it's for the front left side, the driver's side. So here's the other thing. If you guys look right here, without the light, there's a marking. There's a small mark right there, and then there's one right here. So I don't know who did the markings. Usually it's insurance companies, and as you guys can see, there's some right there. I mean, again, to the naked eye, I don't see anything weird. I don't see anything off. So let me pause the video here. Let me do some research. Let me see what I could find out about this whole side and this whole assembly, how it works, and then we'll resume either later today or maybe another day once I have something more to present to you guys.
Several days later.
It has now been a few days since the last clip. Not much has changed. Audi is still sitting like this. So my goal is to actually lift it up on all fours and then essentially put it in drive and then see how this rotor turns, because something tells me that the rotor itself might be slightly bent from the damage. I mean, honestly, it's unlikely, but I don't know. Nothing else makes sense to me. So if I post this video, before I figure it out, let me know what you guys think. What could it be? Why is the rotor just a tiny bit scraping against the brake pads? That's what's causing the sound. I mean, I could see it's damaging the rotor, so I'm definitely not gonna drive it. What is it? What could it be? But anyways, in the last few days, these parts got delivered, and my wife picked them all up today. So these are the 3 airbags, 2 current, 1 seat. This is, I believe, the front fender liner. The only thing we're waiting for from the dealer is the rear fender liner. This is all the plastic pieces that we got from the dealer for the front. Essentially, I believe the cover for the windshield wipers, and then the 2 wheel covers from the front right here. The other parts I actually purchased are all OEM parts, but they are coming from Missouri, I think. And those parts should actually get delivered today or tomorrow. So literally the only thing that I'm waiting for is the big tub that goes in here, basically like luggage compartment. Everything else should be here today or tomorrow. So the car in theory would be complete minus that wheel issue that we just discovered. So since I have all of this stuff, I am slowly going to start working on airbags. I still haven't figured out how to get this whole headliner off. And honestly, guys, I have no idea. So I'm gonna cut this to give myself a little bit more access. And I am going to try and reach in there with my hand to take off the whole airbag assembly. If I can't, then clearly I'm gonna have to figure something out with this headliner, but if I can, it will be a painfully slow process, but I will get it done. So we are making progress on this thing. Here's what I'm working with, guys. So I put the seat all the way up and all the way back, and now I think I have enough space to comfortably get in there, take out the 2 black bolts, essentially get this whole assembly out. So here we go. First airbag assembly out. I just pulled this one out. I do not know if this is the right side. Don't think it is. No. Audi is very nice to give us 4 new bolts for the airbags, but we will probably reuse the old ones. So let's see if this is the one I need. Very interesting. So this is how this one was delivered, but essentially it was just sitting in there like that. This is how this one's delivered. Audi, both of them are Audi, but totally different shipments. So the one thing I will need to figure out is actually how to get these metal clips out, or brackets, however you want to call them. These ones right here, because they are attached to the roof of the car. Tried pulling on them with no luck. It almost seems like you have to grab them right here from the bottom with some pliers or something, and then it would essentially release. I don't even know. So that's going to be the other struggle, but I believe this is the driver's side that I need. So I finally managed to get these clips out. Sorry, it seems like camera doesn't want to focus. There's 4 of them. This is what they look like in their various stages. Essentially this locking mechanism, if it will focus, come on, there we go, is a pain in the rear, guys. So only way to basically compress this locking mechanism is through here. So what I had to do was put the screwdriver through here and then essentially like pry it out, try to pull it out, well, like this. And then from the bottom with a, I'll show you guys, basically like a needle nose, try to push in this clip that's in here that would essentially compress one side and then do the same for the other one. It's tough. It's really tough. These are the 3 needle nose screwdrivers that I used to get those out. So I believe they are fully out. Now I just have to take apart this plastic, and I believe that there will be some kind of screw, maybe a 10mm, holding this end piece here, and then essentially I think putting it back together is going to be a piece of cake, but it's just taking those brackets out. That's extremely difficult. Okay guys, where's my flashlight? Starting to lose light in the garage. So essentially there's a 8mm screw here, or 10mm here, 8mm here, which I did not need to take out, but I did have to disconnect that speaker right there, Bang & Olufsen speaker cover, and then I was able to just pull this out. Now we have this exposed, which I am really hoping it's going to be this size, but I might not be able to at an angle come in comfortably. Oh, there we go. So there's our airbag. Again, not much light left, but we are making progress. This clip goes in here like so, and essentially we start pulling it up and getting these other clips in. But while I have it here like this, I'm gonna start putting the trim together, and hopefully I don't goof up anywhere. I am sweaty, I am exhausted. Airbag is almost in, but I am struggling putting it in there. It's just that lining it is just so uncomfortable, guys. You don't understand how small this car is. I'm not a small person, so working in tight spaces is just very difficult. And this car, it doesn't help. But we have family on the way. I have to pause it here. I did reassemble all of this. Airbag does look beautiful. Everything is tied down, buttoned down in the front. I didn't want to, you know, put this all the way in just yet. I want to freely be able to move it back there so I could connect everything, tie it down, screw it in, and then essentially this side is done. Then I will move on to the passenger side, do the same thing. We also have this airbag to take care of, but this is, you know, something very simple and easy. So the car is starting to more or less be put back together. I guess interior wise, my only area of concern is getting this seat stitched up, in the sense of I don't want to remove it because there are so many wires underneath and they're all like intermingled and intertangled. So honestly, I don't even know, because I tried pulling the passenger side out and I was like, look, I'm gonna try to work around it just because there's so many wires under there. And same thing with this one, I would assume, because it's the driver's seat, so it's gonna have at least the same amount of wires, or maybe even more. And the other area of concern is that leather up front. It's pretty wrinkled, so yeah, this car still needs work. And then of course, you know, the front wheel and whatnot. But most of the parts are here, so we're starting to, I guess, put it back together, and hopefully within the next month this car is going to be ready to go on the road, and then a new owner. So if you are interested in buying this thing, let me know. If you know someone that's interested, let me know, because as soon as it's done, I need 1-2 days with it, I'm ready to sell it.
The next day.
It is a new day. I have daylight. I don't know how much time I'm gonna spend in here, but the goal is to slowly start chipping away. I don't know if you guys necessarily saw a lot from the previous clip, but essentially I have 2 more clips to put in. This is super easy. I kind of left it loose so that I have a lot more freedom to kind of poke around back there. But I have 2 screws to put in to tighten the airbag up there, and then 1 over here, and this side essentially is done. I have finally gotten those 2 screws in. I just have 1 more over here, and then these clips, and I'm done. But I don't know if you guys will see that. Man, I am breaking a sweat. It is unbelievably uncomfortable to get in there, and the way that these screws work literally has to be like, the airbag itself has to be pressed up against the metal. That's the only way they line up. But I mean, holding it up with one hand and then reaching over with the other hand to get the screw in, it's extremely frustrating, but it's done, and this side is that much closer to being completed. This side is done. Well, current airbag, all the clips are in. I'm leaving this down because I still have to do the other side. We are now doing the driver's seat airbag. I got my nuts and the 2 covers here. And here is our new airbag straight from Audi. Audi R8 Coupe, left-hand side. So this should be a perfect fit.
The next day.
Garage is opening. Today's a new day, and this is the last day that I'm working on the R8 in this video. So whatever I get done today, right now, this is gonna be the last for this video. Yesterday I worked on this thing for like 2-3 hours, and I really struggled with the metal clips on that side, like really struggled. But before I lost a lot of daylight, I started to put the headliner back in. So the interior is nearly done. Today I went to the auto parts store and I picked up some hex sockets. I was able to get this bolt out, and guys, this bolt is bent. I'm sure the camera will show you, like, this is a pretty good angle, which is very unfortunate. So now I'm thinking maybe it's not the rotor that's damaged, but the axle inside. So as you guys can see, I tried bleeding the caliper, basically the whole brake system, with Andre from Seattle. Yeah, well, he doesn't live here, but he is a brother from another mother. So he visited over the weekend and kind of took a look at it. So our thought was that maybe these aluminum prongs, maybe something bent, because you can spin the rotor, and essentially what is damaging the rotor are these 2 metal prongs. So as you guys can see, there is room between them, but as soon as we turn the rotor and it gets right about here, it scratches through it. So the rotor isn't turning at an even, I guess, turn. So it's going back and forth, back and forth. Right here, it's more separated. As it turns, it starts to grind. And then clearly we have an issue here. So it is spinning unevenly and therefore it is getting damaged. The question is why? So first thought was to actually pull off this rotor. So now I'm gonna pull off the caliper right here and pull off this rotor. I don't think it's the rotor now that I see that this big bolt is completely bent, starting right about here. So my guess is it could be the axle inside, but I won't know until I get it off. So I'll start doing that, take this off, take the rotor off, and we'll kind of go from there.
2 hours later.
Guys, it has been a few hours since the last clip. Man, I find myself in these situations so often. I had a friend stop by. I helped him sell a motorhome through insurance auto auction. He got a brand new 2022 Ford F350 Platinum. So took some time, looked at that. He still hasn't seen this thing, so he looked at that. As he was looking at it, I was working, but you know, clearly I wasn't recording anything. So here is what I have found. I took off the caliper. I didn't find any issues with that. Here's our rotor. Didn't find any issues with that. Here's our wheel bearing from the Audi. Might have a potential issue with that. So when I turn it, I've cleaned up my hands now, but when I turn it, I feel very minor like grinding. So when I first pulled it off, as you guys can see around the rim right here, so I'm assuming this is the grease that's inside the bearing, and from impact I am thinking that it might have busted a little bit, and that's why I feel minor grinding. So what I am going to do is buy a new bearing. It comes with a new bolt, and this bolt is clearly bent. Yeah, sorry, having a hard time focusing. But hopefully you guys will be able to see it. It is bent. This axle itself, it moves freely because it has a rubber boot. So my guess is when the impact happened, and look, you guys will be able to see how it just goes sideways. Like, look at that. So I'm assuming when the impact happened, it just bent the bolt. The axle itself is fine, but it bent the bolt and possibly damaged the wheel bearing. So in the next video, hopefully I will have a new wheel bearing, I will have a new bolt, we will put everything back together and we will try to drive it again. I did not finish the airbags because, like I said, a friend came over. We spent probably 2.5 to 3 hours talking, more or less catching up. I see him somewhat often, but you know, we all have families, so there isn't always time to kind of hang out. But in the next video, hopefully this car will be on its own 4 wheels. I have the rest of the parts that should get delivered today or tomorrow. So literally the only thing that I'm waiting for is the tub for the front space in front of me. Everything else mechanically should be here. So in the next video, the car will be very close, if not fully done, mechanically and more or less cosmetically. I think in this video, we definitely made some progress. We definitely tried to drive the Audi. It didn't work out the way I thought it would. The car moves, it wants to move. We're close, but for this video, this is gonna be it. Guys, thank you so much for joining, thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing, drop a comment in the comment section below. What do you guys think? Because I think I got myself into a lot of work. Not that I regret it, but definitely a lot more surprises than what I was expecting for. So the only thing I'm thinking is I should have made a lower purchase price offer than what I did. But too late for that. So thank you for watching. Consider subscribing, and I will see you in another video.